next on AM 1480 WLEA, the Newsmaker Show. Here's Brian O'Neill.
On this Monday morning, glad to have with us live in the studio, Hornell Mayor John Buckley. Mr. Mayor, thanks for coming in.
Hey, thanks for having me, Brian. It's a beautiful day today, especially compared to yesterday when it just rained nonstop.
Yeah, that was a little different.
We've had enough rain this spring already.
Well, over the weekend, we had two big funerals. Longtime Hornell English teacher Donald Kohler, and then Dr. Byron Collins, the longtime surgeon in Hornell.
Yeah, two significant losses for our community. Mr. Kohler, he was a longtime teacher here in the Hornell School District. Such a wonderful, caring, warm man, and really, Brian, a gentleman's gentleman. I had Mr. Kohler in school, way back in the 80s. Actually, my father had him back in the 60s when he was in high school. And, just such a great guy in the community. He was married 64 years, and, you don't really replace people like that. Just such a nice guy. For those who know me, I worked for Wegmans for many, many years. And, during his retirement years, Mr. Kohler would come in on Sunday mornings with his son, Chris, who used to serve on the city's Common Council. And we served together for numerous years. And you could almost set your watch to it by, the time that they would come in on Sundays. And, to always look forward to having those chats and conversations with Mr. Kohler, and he was just so warm and gracious, and just a really nice person to talk to, and someone you always kind of look forward to seeing. And what a wonderful teacher, all the contributions to the community. He was just a warm, great guy, and people like that are from a bygone era, and I don't know that they necessarily make people like that anymore, Brian, and that's a huge loss for us.
Yeah, he was a terrific teacher and great human being, and as you say, wonderful to have a conversation with.
He really was, and the true measure of a person like that is his family, and he has wonderful children, wonderful grandchildren, many of which I know. Some live right in my neighborhood, known him for many years, and he's done such a wonderful job, not just as an educator, but as a family man, as a community servant, and he's going to be sorely missed.
And Dr. Collins also had a funeral and was buried over the weekend.
Yeah, and another tremendous loss to the community on so many different levels. Doc Collins. He had served the Hornell community for decades and decades. He was actually my own personal physician from childhood right through adulthood, and and it didn't matter what it was. It could have been a broken arm to bronchitis, and anything in between. Doc Collins was there. He wasn't pigeonholed in one certain area of medicine or another. He could do it all. And he'd come out on weekends and evenings. He'd come out on a holiday if need be. And he was just there for the community, and he was just such a strong advocate for healthcare in the Hornell area. And I go back to the story of when St. James was on the brink, and we didn't know if they were going to still be open or close their doors. It was day to day. And I remember Doc Collins and we used to have conversations on what are we going to do? Where's the path forward? Where's that light at the end of the tunnel? And just a strong advocate in the foreground and a strong advocate in the background. And Doc Collins worked tirelessly to provide high level of health care here in the Canasteel Valley and beyond. And he was such an advocate, just trying to sustain that and ensure that we would have that going forward for future generations. And just a huge loss for our community. And again, they don't make those people anymore. It seems like in this day and age, everything is so disposable. Everyone, is kind of has their specialty, they're pigeonholed in this area or that. Doc Collins could do it all, and we're going to miss him. I don't know how you replace someone like that.
Yeah, he was an amazing doctor and surgeon, and another great human being in the Hornell area. No doubt about it. Just
he was
two
tremendous. I
terrific
can't say enough about him. Just a wonderful, wonderful person to know. I feel blessed to know him, to have had him as my doctor, to know him on a more personal level, to have worked with him, during those dark days at St. James when the future was very uncertain, and he's going to be missed, and he already is.
Yeah. Could not say enough good about Dr. Byron Collins.
Yeah, wonderful person.
We're talking this morning with Hornell Mayor John Buckley. And Mayor Buckley was wondering what's new at City Hall, what's going on with the Hornell Industrial Development Agency. What can you tell us?
Well, we've got a lot of projects in the pipeline right now. As you know, some of the apartment buildings are pretty much wrapped up, Reedman and Bassett. The Bassett Group is actually looking to do a second stage of housing up on their property adjacent to the airport. So they're looking at phase 2. I know Reedman's, both Reedman and Bassett are pretty much full at the moment. They've got a few openings left, but they've been filling up right along, and they're both looking at doing possible second stages. Park Grove Realty, they're still getting ready to ramp up on the old Marion Roar building. That's going to be 23 loft apartments with indoor parking, all market rate. So, there's a lot going on that front, on the IDA side of things. On the city side, we've got some infrastructure projects coming up. We've got a $6 million upgrade at our water filtration plant that's kind of in its infancy. We're just getting underway right now. That plant hasn't really had a significant upgrade since 1987, so that project is long overdue, and it's something we're looking forward to really modernize the water plant. We're going to replace some of the existing water tanks and build cement tanks to replace those in the coming year. We've got a lot of bridge work coming up, Brian. We have in the next year and a half here, we're going to have 3 bridges replaced. We're going to have the box culvert over Chauncey Run that's on East Main Street. That's going to be replaced. We have a bridge on Seneca Street that's going to be replaced, and the long-awaited bridge on Canasteel Street is finally going to be replaced next year. So look for these bridges next year to all be replaced. There's a slim chance we might get to the box culvert this year. That's still up in the air right now. We're starting to get a little bit later in the season. So in the next year and a half, we'll have 3 brand new bridges in the city of Hornell. So, we've been very active trying to pursue state funding and federal funding to get these projects off the ground. As you've attended some of these meetings where we've talked about relining our sewer lines, and there's always the infrastructure that you see, and then there's the infrastructure you don't see, and the sewer lines are a really important part of that infrastructure plan, and a lot of the sewer lines that we have here in the city are in excess of 100 years old. So there's this new technology that's called this trenchless technology, where they come in and basically insert a pipe within the pipe, and they superheat it, and it's like having a brand new pipe down there. And we've been very successful over the past several years doing a lot of our main trunk lines, and we're going to continue that program. So we've got a lot going on right now. Obviously, we've had a lot of rain, so the grass is growing. So our guys, especially our summer help, they're out busy mowing in between raindrops, trying to keep the grass at bay. And it's always busy. We've got the flowers downtown. Downtown looks great. We've got so many hanging baskets and flowers planted in the ground. It all ties in with the Hometown Heroes program, the banners that we have flying along city streets. So things are looking up. It's the downtown's looking good, and we've got a good public works department. Those guys are out busy, and they're blacktop and paving, doing a lot of different things right now, Brian.
And pretty interesting. CBS TV picked up on the Alstom Amtrak deal.
Yeah, what a nice feather in our cap. It's nice that they came down and did that, especially on a national level. It's something to be proud of. If you're an Alstom employee, if you live in the city of Hornell, we have that Excella line that they're working on, the high-speed rail, and as you're sitting there listening to this radio broadcast, think about this. Nowhere else in the entire country is that high-speed rail being manufactured. Only in Hornell, New York. Anywhere in the country, only right here in the Maple City is high-speed rail being manufactured. That is really, really something to be proud of, and for those employees, to shine that spotlight on them, and I think it's very well deserving. To get Hornell and Alstom that national recognition, which they so much deserve. It's just such a great, wonderful thing. I'm very proud of Alstom and all the employees down there. They're doing such a fantastic job and doing such great work.
And speaking of Hornell and getting national media attention, I don't know if you caught it last week. No, you got a busy schedule. Probably don't have a lot of time to watch TV. Bill Pullman was on both Live with Kelly and Ryan, and then he was on New York City TV. On the New York City NBC channel, he was talking about his USA channel TV show, The Sinner. And on Live with Kelly and Ryan, they were joking around about the movie Independence Day and how that's going to be shown numerous times on and around July 4th.
No, I didn't catch the interview, but Bill Pullman's such a wonderful man. I talked to him when he was in town about a year and a half ago for the benefit that we had here, and I'm sure he probably takes a lot of good-humored ribbing over Independence Day. I actually liked the movie. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, he said it's too bad they haven't made a tire like that movie. It would never wear out.
Yeah, well, it does get a lot of play, especially this time of year as we get closer to July 4th, and I think it's kind of become a tradition of sorts. And around Christmas time we always have all these different Christmas movies we look forward to, and I think Independence Day has really kind of carved out that niche in July. So hey, good for Bill Pullman. He's a hometown product, and nothing wrong with that at all. Well, good movie and a really good guy.
Yeah, that is an amazing movie, and Bill just has a pretty incredible career.
Yeah, he really has, and his career goes far beyond Independence Day. He's had a lot of really good roles in a lot of different directions. He's a very versatile actor and a man of many talents.
Yeah, Bill's great. We're going to take a break. Be right back here on the Newsmaker Show. We're on with Mary John Buckley this morning.
Alcohol use, especially underage drinking, poses many serious risks for the developing brain and increases the risk for injury and even death among our youth. But did you know that allowing your teens' friends to consume alcohol on your property poses many legal risks for yourself? Although it may seem safer, it is illegal. Protect yourself and our teens by promising that you will not host parties and provide alcohol to minors. This is Stacey Odell from Steuben Council on Addictions, and I want to remind you that underage drinking is a serious problem and one that has serious consequences. Remember, parents who host lose the most. This message brought to you by Steuben Council on Addictions, the Steuben County Sheriff's Office, and the Steuben County District Attorney.
Checking in now with meteorologist Rob Carroll. And Rob, how's the week looking?
Ooh, not looking good at all, Brian. Unfortunately, we've got a frontal system which is going to stall from the southern coast of New England back across the Ohio River Valley and into the Midwest. We're going to see ripples of low pressure move along it. We're going to be on the northern fringe of those systems, and they're going to bring us periodic showers and thunderstorms. We just cannot break out of this pattern, Brian. And kind of was looking at some data last week, and the interesting thing is we had cool, wet summers back in 2008 and in 1997, and the similarity is they're each 11 years apart, including the one now ongoing here in 2019. Another thing that's about 11 years apart is a solar cycle. We're in a solar minimum right now. I'm trying to figure out whether or not there's some correlation to the fact that the sun is cool and we're having a rather wet and cool summer here in the Northeast. We're going to kind of go back and look at some more of the data from last century and see whether or not we need to go with a wet forecast for the rest of the year. But a lot of cloudiness out there this morning. We'll see a few peaks of sun. We may also see some late-day showers. Temperatures across the southern tier up to 75 today. Sunrise, the earliest of the year, 5:33. degrees. Sun will set tonight at 8:50. We'll look for a couple of showers tonight, otherwise mostly cloudy, 55 to 60. Tomorrow, lots of clouds. There could be a shower or two in the afternoon. We're a little bit warmer, 75 to 80. Showers end tomorrow night, lows 55 to 60. Turning partly sunny Wednesday. Showers and thunderstorms arrive late in the day, 75 to 80. There'll be more showers and thunderstorms Wednesday night and Thursday, Brian.
And we're on live with Hornell Mayor John Buckley. Mayor Buckley, recently we learned some interesting news about Hornell High School, Hornell City Hall, and Corning Community College coming together for some projects.
Yeah, so about a year ago, I started having discussions with folks from Corning Community College about offering courses right here in Hornell, and we met several times. Went out for breakfast, had those discussions, and they had a very deep interest in coming to Hornell and providing some of these classes. And after so many months of phone calls and meetings and discussions, I handed them off to Superintendent Jeremy Pilati over at the high school, and so we kind of formed a three-way partnership. And Superintendent Pilati and the school district's been very gracious and very welcoming, and we basically worked out a scenario where Corning Community College is going to come here starting in the fall and offer different courses, and they're going to bring accelerated associate's degrees to Hornell, and they're going to have a 16-month business administration program and human services. So it's going to be something we haven't had here recently, and I'm just so proud to be able to be a part of that and bring those bring that higher education here to Hornell and for Hornell residents and area residents. And I think it's just such a nice thing, and glad to have that partnership with CCC and the Hornell School District. It's going to be a win-win all the way around.
That's great. That's great. Now we got the elections coming up in November. Did you want to go over the Common Council candidates?
Yeah, so it's an election year for the city council, and the city council is like the House of Representatives in the sense that they're all up at the same time. There's got some really good candidates this year. We've got some incumbents. Alderman Jim Bassage over in the 8th Ward is running once again, and he's running unopposed. Dan Warner over in the 5th Ward is running unopposed. We have Jessica Cleveland, who is also the deputy mayor of the city of Hornell. She's running unopposed. Then we have Steve Schinnebarger in the 9th Ward, who does have a race. But I think Steve is one of those guys that really contributes a lot to the council. He's very thoughtful, very constituent-minded. Steve's always calling me, texting me, emailing me, nights, weekends about this or that. Very constituent-minded, kind of like a Jim Bassage in that sense. Very, very thoughtful. Adds a lot to the council. He's a local dentist. Brought his business here, from out of town. He's got 2 young kids and a wife. Just a great family man, great contributor to the council. We've got some newcomers running as well. We've got Kevin Valentine, who is running for the seat in the 7th Ward, and he works for the county sheriff's department. Young guy who has a lot of great ideas. Very eager. He's going to work hard. And then we have Molly Liberto in the 3rd Ward. As you know, Joe McKay decided not to run again. And, Joe, I want to just take a second and recognize Joe. Joe McKay was, he did so much for the council. He was a great alderman and a tremendous asset to have over in the 3rd Ward. And that's a tough loss for him not to run. But, he served 5 years and served admirably, so we thank him. But, Molly Liberto, she's a lifelong educator, lifelong Hornellian. I think, she'll be out there working hard, talking to everyone, and I think she'll be successful. And then at the county level, we have Paul Van Cassel, who's running for county legislature, and another young, energetic, family man. Actually, his daughter's the valedictorian this year. the high school. So he's going to be out there working hard. Already knocking on doors, talking to people, having those conversations, and he's looking to really be that voice for Hornell on the county level. And something I look forward to having is someone who has a strong voice, who would be a strong advocate for the city of Hornell on the county level, because there's so many things that go on between the city and the county, and having that strong representation on the county level is very important. So I look forward to those races, and I think they're going to have a lot of success. We have a very, very strong field this year. In fact, this might be one of the strongest fields that I've seen in recent years on the Republican side. So can't wait to see how they all do, and very excited to work with them.
Down to the last couple of minutes here with Hornell Mayor John Buckley. Was there anything that I did not bring up, or any other topics you wanted to cover?
Well, Brian, you told me we only had a few minutes left, so if you want to go another 30, we can. But there's a lot going on right now. In the summertime, we have the summer concert series that's going to be starting up at the end of the month on Saturday. We're actually moving the concert series from Thursdays to Saturdays, and the concert series is going to be down at the end on the Broadway Mall. So we've got a lot of exciting bands lined up. So I urge people to come on down Saturday evenings down in front of the old Ponderosa, which is the Hornell Community Arts Center. So we're going to have the stage set up down there. We're going to have a lot of activities. Obviously, graduation's coming up, Brian. So I always urge people to be safe. Don't drink and drive. If you have those high school students, keep an eye on them. Sometimes things can get out of hand at these graduation parties. So parents, I always urge you to exercise extreme caution at these parties, and it's always important to have fun, but it's more important to be safe as well. So then we go right into the 4th of July, Independence Day. So it's going to be we've got a busy stretch coming up.
Mayor Buckley, as always, thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me, Brian, and have a great day.